When people talk about controversial streamers, there's almost always one name that comes up first.
Aiden Ross.
Aiden Ross is interesting because on one hand, he's top 1% successful. But on the other, this is how the internet describes it.
Aiden Ross is a goddamn idiot.
Scumbag.
Laughing stock, hypocritical.
Stupid, racist, and misogynistic far-right streamer, Aiden Ross.
To start off the interview, I guess the first question we would have for you is, would you say that online you're hated?
Damn!
Aiden has built an empire on being the bad guy. Why?
Controversy self.
And he's right, it pays to be the villain.
I don't give a...
But when you wear a mask for profit long enough, you eventually forget how to take it off. So what's the most true and authentic version of Aiden Ross? Well, I've come to realize that the answer to that question is a bit more complicated than you'd think. To understand Aiden Ross, we need to go back to before the controversial rise. Back to when he was just starting to figure out something far more simple. How to get people's attention. Aiden grew up in Boca Raton, Florida, at least until his parents' divorce scattered his childhood across the country. One year he was the new kid in New York, the next in California, then eventually back to Florida again.
If I get 50,000 followers on Vine...
But constantly restarting life like that forced Aiden to adapt fast. He had to figure out new social dynamics and find new friend groups over and over again. He learned quickly that the easiest way to fit in was to become a mirror, to read the room, make people laugh, and give them exactly the version of him they wanted to see. When you were bouncing around from school to school, do you think that that helped you, like, become the perfect streamer? Like, you figured out how to entertain?
I think, yes. I think being socially uncomfortable, being thrown into the deep end of the pool, it makes you. It really, really does.
You see, Aiden started off as a kid who was forced to learn how to fit in, and in the process, he accidentally trained himself for the perfect job. When he started streaming NBA 2K from his bedroom, that same survival instinct from school kicked in. He'd read the chat and adjust his personality in real time to give the viewers exactly what they wanted.
You guys are going crazy with the subs, bro.
And that was the secret weapon that took him from a no-name 2K streamer to the face of Twitch in under a year. Aiden saw the ceiling on gaming content and pivoted hard. He quit streaming 2K and rolled out a series called E-Dating that absolutely exploded online. But what made Aiden Ross a household name was his streams with rappers. Think of these streams like a late-night talk show. If the host was 20 years old, totally unprepared and openly flirting with the guests.
How big is your dick?
Big enough.
Aiden leaned into being sus, pushing boundaries, making things awkward, and treating platinum-selling artists like they were his actual friends. It shattered the barrier between Hollywood and social media. The internet ate it up. Aiden gained over 2 million followers in April alone.
We love you, Tekka!
He was averaging viewer counts in the 6 figures, and quite literally becoming the future of Twitch. For a brief moment, Aiden had it all. He was the face of streaming. He was suddenly friends with the influencers that he once adored. But that level of fame is dangerous, because once you have the attention of millions, you become a target for people who want to buy your influence. Deals that pay insane money, but always come with a catch. Think of it like a button. When you're the face of a platform like Twitch, it's as easy as pushing this button and a few $1 million pop out. The problem is, the people writing these checks usually come from some shady places. It's dirty money. Every time you press that button, you sell a piece of your reputation. You invite the backlash in, and half the world learns to hate you just a little bit more.
The media hates me, bro. The mainstream media hates me,
Most creators keep their distance. They see the money, sure, but they look at the cost and they walk away. And for a while, Aiden didn't risk it either, because at that point, Aiden was widely known as the edgy, funny guy. When he came onto the scene, he ruffled feathers, but people loved him for it. But that button gets a lot harder to ignore when you grow up with nothing.
People think that like I had it very easy my whole life. We were financially stable, medium class, up until about senior year. It got really hard for us. And you know, I would go literally some nights without eating dinner.
He realized he could make every single one of those problems disappear forever. All he had to do was push the button.
Let's go, come on. Let's go. Let's go.
The temptation became too irresistible. Aiden took a massive sponsorship deal with Roulette, one of the earliest online crypto casinos, and suddenly he's gambling live on stream for insane amounts of money. Tens of thousands flying into cartoon slot machines while thousands of viewers watch. The reward was absurd. Leaked messages showed that he was making up to $2 million a month. His lifestyle inflated overnight. Luxury cars, LA mansions, watches that cost annual salaries.
I bought a Lambo before that, which was stupid, but at that time, I'm 19 years old. I want to buy a Lamborghini to show everyone like, you.
The money was quite literally life-changing. It gave him the ability to support his parents, help his family, give gifts to friends that don't even sound real.
This is not my car.
Swear my life.
This is your house for a year locked. You don't have to worry about rent for a year.
Now, there's a dark side of the button, and we're getting to that. But first, we've got something exciting to tell you guys. So, we started this channel a little over a year ago, and genuinely, it was crazy to see how quickly it picked up steam.
Yo, golf carts!
Golf cart!
W golf cart in the cab.
But now, almost every day, we get DMs asking us how we write our scripts, or where do you find this stuff?
How did you find this?
Oh, this guy did his research.
Or bro, is this guy like Nardwar?
You've maybe noticed the logo on the mic or the logo in the top right corner, but we've recently partnered with WAP to finally answer your questions. Inside our community on WAP, we're breaking down exactly how we research and script, but we're also vlogging the day-to-day of the channel. You'll see the prop builds, the late-night writing sessions, and of course, all of the stuff that gets cut out. Like this interview with Aiden. We spoke for 45 minutes and maybe used 5 in the video. The full uncut interview is already uploaded in our WAP right now. We've got big plans for what the space can become, but what excites us the most is that we can actually just make a video without having to stare down the barrel of the YouTube algorithm. All in all, if you want to see the full process of how we make a video, or just want to support the channel in general, the link's at the top of the description. But that's enough yapping, let's get back to the video. Okay, so you blew up super quick, and then you were like pretty well loved at that point. You were edgy, you were a little sus, but everybody seemed to like you a lot. Towards the end of 2021, things kind of seemed to shift.
The first thing that we're going to talk about today, easily one of the most requested topics, it involves gambling and a YouTuber, spotlighter, stirs.
I had been hearing for a while about how online, unregulated crypto casinos were hiring some of the biggest influencers in the world to promote them, and then would pay them for every fan they got to sign up.
He's willing to do anything to just make money off the back of his fans and then laugh about it.
You started to get some pushback from certain people, and you weren't as well liked in certain circles.
I don't know. Aiden Ross, everything he has done is stupid.
He knows what he's doing is f***ed up, but on the other hand, he's unwilling to stop doing it.
I've just never seen this life-changing money in front of me, in front of a table like that. You know what I mean?
I get it. And you're 20.
What was that first point where you started to notice that, and what did that feel like?
The hate gets to me, I'm not gonna lie, because the hate's different now. It's just like, a lot of people watch me, they don't even like me. It's weird. I honestly, at that point, was like, as long as my friends and me are having fun, making good content, and my community's happy, I didn't really care at that point.
Most creators would panic here. They would apologize, pivot to safe content, and try to win the internet back. But for whatever reason, the backlash did the exact opposite for Aiden.
For me, I kind of liked it. I liked kind of being, you know, not liked by the mainstream crowd. You know, I like that a lot, honestly.
Aiden, quit now, and I will respect you.
Can't quit now.
Then I think then you're turning your head and making blood money.
This was a defining moment for Aiden, because he realized that being the villain paid better than being the hero. So he doubled down. By early 2022, Aiden traded in the Roulette deal for a massive partnership with Stake. Stake is a different beast entirely. It's a platform with pockets deep enough to headline F1 teams and Premier League jerseys. So when the pen hit the paper, the financial scale shifted instantly. Suddenly, Aiden wasn't making life-changing money anymore. He was making you money. This is where the relationship between Aiden and Twitch turned into a dangerous game of cat and mouse. On one side, you have Twitch, owned by Amazon, desperate to keep their platform safe for advertisers like Coke and Disney. On the other side, you have their biggest star, screaming at digital slots and continuing to test every rule in the book.
You have to follow policy and follow rules.
Now, Aiden was definitely the face of it, but he wasn't alone. Hordes of streamers were jumping on the crypto casino's payroll. The platform effectively tore itself in two. Half the top creators were cashing these massive checks, while the other half were screaming about the ethics of promoting gambling to kids.
How can you feel good about taking money from people like that?
But here was the problem. Nobody was actually breaking the rules. Twitch couldn't punish Aiden for something that they allowed. So, they made some changes. They banned unregulated gambling sites entirely. Publicly, they framed it as a moral stance, protecting the kids from the addiction. But if you ask Aiden, it wasn't about the morality. It was about the money. How did that all play out behind the scenes?
So, Pokimane, Hassan, they pushed for Stake being banned on Twitch.
Okay.
I was in the gym and I got a text from someone on my team. Just got off the phone with Twitch. They're not banning Stake, bro. No work. They banned it 30 minutes later. So they banned Stake. Why do they ban Stake? They banned Stake because Stake didn't want to cut Twitch in on a check. What does Twitch do? They go to NFL, they do a DraftKings deal worth billions of dollars. So if you go look at Twitch right now, you can gamble on Twitch. They didn't ban gambling. There's a misconception they banned gambling. No. They banned casinos where they can't make money off of. They are currently monetizing off gambling right now.
Twitch cut off Aiden's gravy train, so he had to pivot. But he didn't go back to gaming, and he wasn't all that into the rapper streams either. So he reached out to the one guest that nobody else dared to touch.
I see you all over everywhere. You're like the #1 person right now. You know, no dick suck. Like, bro, like.
Yeah, I conquered the internet. The internet is mine, all of it. I took it all.
In the span of a single summer, Andrew Tate had gone from total obscurity to being the most viral person on Earth. And Aiden's first stream with him went absolutely ballistic. It averaged over 100,000 viewers and peaked at 266,118. This was the biggest stream that he had ever done, bigger than the E-Dates, bigger than the rapper streams. There was no way Aiden wasn't doing another one.
I've been streaming for a very long time. We're about to peak my most viewers I've ever had.
But there was a massive elephant in the room. Andrew Tate was one of the most, if not the most, controversial person on the planet at the time. And because of that, he was systematically erased from the modern internet. Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, they all blacklisted him. However, Aiden once again saw a loophole. Tate didn't have a Twitch account, so technically there was nothing to ban. And no one had explicitly written a rule saying you couldn't talk to him on stream, so while the rest of the world was deplatforming Tate, Aiden rolled out the red carpet.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, do you hear me?
For the rest of the year, he milked that loophole for everything it was worth, even flying across the world to stream with Tate IRL.
I'm top G too. No, you're not.
But in January of 2023, the cat finally caught the mouse. Twitch had seen enough and slapped Aiden with his 7th ban from the platform, a massive 30-day suspension from streaming. To the executives, it was a disciplinary timeout, a warning shot to force their unruly star back into line. But for Aiden, sitting in silence for a month locked out of his empire, it didn't feel like a lesson. It felt like an attack. It radicalized him. He realized that Twitch wasn't just enforcing rules, they were rewriting them. And in doing so, they were trying to take away his button forever. Aiden was done playing games. He was done with the censorship, and luckily for him, there was something being built behind the scenes. You see, when Twitch banned the major gambling sites, they really pissed off the founders of Aiden's old sponsor, Stake.
Eddie, the CEO of Stake and Kick, he says, all right, you know what? Yeah, let's boss up. Makes a streaming platform.
Eddie Craven, who happens to be the youngest billionaire in Australia, decided to step into the ring with Twitch. He wrote out Kick. Kick positioned itself as the antidote to everything wrong with the streaming industry. It prioritized creators over corporate advertisers. It promised total creative freedom, stripping away the strict guidelines that had suffocated streamers for years. But a platform with no users is useless. They needed someone big enough to drive real traffic to the site.
My original deal before I got banned on Twitch, which I think was like, what, 2 weeks after I came to Kick? Something like that.
It was
like
close.
A month. I was supposed to go on Twitch, obviously funnel from Twitch to Kick. Twitch didn't like that. There was a big no-no. They took me out, and that was it.
After the 30-day suspension cleared, Aiden began dual streaming. He would go live on Twitch, talk to his 7 million followers, and tell them to migrate over to Kick for the real content. But he knew he needed a hook. He needed to show them that Kick was different. So he went on this absurd marketing campaign to test every limit he could imagine.
Recently, there's been this unholy floodgate, like a dam that's broken in the mind of Aiden Ross's brain, that's led to him making the worst decisions imaginable over the last couple months.
What the is going on?
He pulled up Pornhub live on stream. He tweeted things he knew would incinerate his reputation in the mainstream, including the infamous 2 genders tweet. It did kind of seem like for a minute you leaned into the villain role. Do you think that's a fair and accurate assumption?
I do. I remember this like it was yesterday. I went over to Kick, I made a tweet, and I said that there are 2 genders. A lot of people hated me for that. A lot of people are mad for that. and the entire world really went at me for that.
But Aiden wasn't stupid. He knew exactly what he was doing.
I had to kind of say and do some crazy to make Kick pop. I literally might have 2 people in this room this week on stream. Suck my f***ing nuts! Ah! Stop it! Twitter, you guys are the reason why the internet is soft. Stop! Bang!
He was proving a point. On Kick, you can't be canceled.
There's no terms of service over there. You guys can say whatever you want on my chat. Nobody can get banned.
But on Twitch, you definitely can.
This is cancel culture. I'm gonna cancel cancel culture.
I'm Aiden Ross. Aiden Ross is what the f*** he says.
In late February 2023, amidst the chaos of his marketing rampage, Twitch had seen enough. They issued his 8th ban. This time, it was permanent.
A lot of the people on the Kick side of things loved it. And they kept, endorsing it a little bit. Like, oh, yeah, you got it. We love it. We love it. Controversy sells. And it did. And Kick is very successful because of that, so.
The bridge was burned, but Aiden was standing on the other side, holding the match and laughing. He had successfully migrated his audience. Kick's user base exploded, growing over 400% in months, largely off the back of Aiden's controversy. By mid-2023, Aiden Ross had achieved something that is statistically impossible in the influencer economy. He had been banned, deplatformed, and labeled a public enemy, and yet, he was bigger than ever.
Too far? I don't give a Cancel me, I don't give a
In any other story, this is the part where the creator gets humble. They apologize. They try to rebrand to save their career.
Did you feel like that backlash was, deserved?
No, I don't. I think that the things I say, the things I do is what 90-something% of the streamers and the online people say off camera and do off camera.
He realized that on Kick, there were no referees. He had equity, he had a contract, and most importantly, he had an audience that followed him because of the chaos, not in spite of it. He was technically uncancelable. So instead of pivoting to safety, he started treating real life like a side quest. He launched a boxing promotion company cleverly named Brand Risk. He saw the massive numbers in influencer fighting and decided he wanted to own his own league.
Netflix Most Valuable Promotions Jake Paul vs. Mike Tyson mega event makes history with over 108 million live global viewers.
This was his crack at trying to build a billion-dollar business that could outlast his streaming career.
I launched a brand. My Brand Risk brand. Yeah.
He revamped the rapper streams at the highest of levels, bringing on names like 21 Savage and Playboy Cardi. He pulled off the biggest stream of his life, an interview with Donald Trump that peaked at over 580,000 viewers. He was untouchable. But when you beat the game at 22 years old, you run into a new problem. It's not cancellation, it's boredom.
I couldn't realize it, but when I was grinding, that was like the peak feeling of me. When I was accomplishing all this stuff. I got this and I got that, and I did this, and I just feel like I've kind of already conquered a lot of the things, like at a really young age.
Sure. And what does it feel like to conquer things at a young age?
I don't know. I honestly, man, it's f***ed up because honestly, like, that's what drives me crazy sometimes. Like, what do I do now?
This explains the erratic behavior we saw throughout 2024. The cycle wasn't about him trying to change and failing, it was about him trying to feel something. He would announce that he was retiring, then come back a week later. He would say he's moving back to Miami to find his roots, then fly back to LA. He would swear off gambling, claim that he was done with the toxicity, only to sign a new deal with Stake or Rainbet just months later. To the audience, it looked like a struggle for his soul, but to Aiden, it was just content.
Every time I have trauma, I put it in my back of my brain. I'm very desensitized. My brain is very desensitized.
He had pushed the button so many times that the lights didn't look as bright anymore.
It's super hard for me to sometimes feel things. I don't know. It's almost like I'm emotionless. Like I feel like I beat the game.
And that's a dangerous place to be, because when the normal thrill wears off, you have to raise the stakes just to feel the pulse.
You said that a lot of people can't hate you online because they don't know the real you. And at the time, you definitely said that you were leaning into the villain role. Have you pulled back from that villain character? And are you no?
Nah. I love being the villain.
So what's the most true and authentic version of Aiden Ross?
I think the fact that I would do a stream with 6ix9ine if he calls me up tomorrow. I think the fact that I would do a stream with anybody. I would do a stream with Jeffrey Epstein if he was still alive. Just a question. I'll do a stream with Diddy. No, I'm not joking. People that genuinely have been completely stripped from platforms and affected in their real life, they deserve some chance of speaking. They deserve some way of talking. That's where it needs to head. I don't have to like you, but I think everyone deserves their voice. And that's my whole stance on that.
As of today, the machine is still running. Aiden Ross proved that you can build an empire on controversy. He proved that if you bring enough eyes and enough money, the rules don't apply to you. But the victory looks a lot like a trap. He's admitted openly that he feels like a puppet, a slave to the entertainment. He feeds the chat the chaos they crave because he's terrified that if he stops, the screen goes black.
it's like people know me when they see me, but they don't know me. People just will look at me as like I'm like this puppet, this entertainment puppet.
Whatever you guys want, bro. I'll do GTRP. I don't care. I'm a slave to you guys, bro. What do you guys want, bro? I'm a slave. I don't care, bro. I'm a puppet.
Whether you love him or you hate him, it's hard to deny that Aiden Ross changed streaming forever. He shattered the corporate safety of Twitch and ushered in a new era of raw, unfiltered, and often dangerous content. He built a button that prints money. But the thing about the button is once you start pressing it, it's almost impossible to stop. If you made it this far in the video, I just wanted to say thanks for watching. At the time of recording this, we're at 95,580 subscribers, and we're trying to hit 100K by the end of the year. So, you know, if you wanted to subscribe, that'd be awesome. Also, I did want to mention that the full uncut interview with Aiden is like 45 minutes long, and we're uploading it into our WAP. So, you know, if you wanted to check that out, it'll be in there. But yeah, I think that's everything. Cool. Thanks for watching. This was the exact moment Jinxie became the most subscribed streamer on Twitch.
Now listen, if you don't know who he is, you better find out why he's so popular, man.
It seemed like Jinxie came out of nowhere. Like he snapped his fingers and all of a sudden, he was the new king of Twitch. For most people, this is a dream come true. To wake up, play video games, and get stupid rich.
I do social media, right? But I would never want to be on the top. Being on the top is a curse.
But what we don't see in this moment is what it took to get here, because success like this doesn't come free. It comes with a cost. And for Jinxie, that cost was higher than most people could ever imagine.
639 hours streamed to an average viewership of 2. That's Jinxie, man.
While his friends were out living their college years, Jinxie was alone, night after night, sitting in front of a camera, streaming to almost no one.
Because it's not about the hours that they know about. It's about what you do in the dark room when it's you and your thoughts.
For years, his reality was numbers so low they didn't even register. 5 viewers, 10 viewers, it was a dream no one else could see.
Every great thing that you will ever achieve is brick by brick, day by day, night by night.
But the real question is, what exactly did he give up to reach number 1? Nicholas Stewart, or as we know him today as Jinxie, was born on September 26, 2001 in Odessa, Florida. Growing up, he wasn't chasing streamer awards. His first love was actually soccer. He played competitively for a local team called Everton FC in Florida. And for a while, that was his entire world outside of school. As the mid-2010s rolled around, soccer wasn't his only obsession anymore. Like countless teenagers, he was sinking deeper into the world of video games. It started with the mobile game Clash Royale. Nick grinded his way up the ranks, even competing at the semi-pro level under the name It's Noah Nick. But by his junior year, the focus had once again shifted. He wanted to stream, so he created a new account, called it I Sweat Games. And for the first time, he hit go live on Twitch.
Hi, what's up, guys? Just went live 5 seconds ago.
And the timing of this move was perfect, because 2018 was the year live streaming exploded into the mainstream. Fortnite was everywhere, pulling in millions of players and casual viewers. Streamers like Ninja, Tfue, and Daquan were becoming household names. Ninja's collabs with Drake, Travis Scott, and Juju Smith-Schuster made headlines outside of the gaming world, putting Twitch in front of audiences who had never watched a live stream before. And that sudden surge of attention created space for new creators to break through. Now, I Sweat Games was short-lived. Nick dropped that username and started fresh as Jinxie, but starting then gave him a chance to grow with the platform. He just had to follow the usual playbook.
Do you go to school? I graduated high school last year, bro. I'm pursuing a career and becoming a full-time Twitch streamer and YouTuber.
To become a top 1% streamer on Twitch, you really had to chase the biggest titles. And at that time, that game was Fortnite.
It's called Fortnite. It's free.
To build an audience, you had to be the first to start streaming when a new season rolled out. You had to be the first to show the viewers what was new. Be the first to find the bugs, the Easter eggs, to play the games in ways no one else was. And that's how you'd stand out.
Yo, we need that, my man. Hold on, chat. We need that.
But first, a quick word from our sponsor. My mornings usually start in the gym, and from there, the day quickly turns into emails, scripts, and editing. And the one thing that I never seem to have enough time for is making a meal that actually fits my health goals. That's why I was excited to try Factor. Factor gives you the flexibility to stay active without falling back on a quick cheat meal when you're short on time. Just toss it in the microwave for 2 minutes, and you're done. Factor has 3 times new weekly meals than before, with more chef-crafted, restaurant-quality meals. They've added double the high-protein options, and you can even swap proteins at no extra cost. Like if you'd rather have chicken instead of pork, then you can just switch it. I've been working on staying more consistent in the gym, and the big piece I was missing was in the kitchen. Factor's high-protein meals are exactly what I needed to stay on track with my fitness goals. And instead of wasting time cooking or blowing money on delivery, I know I've got something ready fast with Factor. So if you wanted to try it out, head to factor75.com or click the link below and use code GolfCartFB50 to get 50% off, plus free breakfast for 1 year. That's code GolfCartFB50 at factor75.com to get 50% off plus free breakfast for 1 year. Thanks again to Factor for sponsoring today's video, and let's get back to it. But when Jinxie was faced with this playbook, he ignored it. Instead, he went all in on Rainbow Six Siege.
Dude, Siege is the greatest game on planet Earth.
Siege at the time was practically on life support. I mean, Rainbow Six was barely scraping past 80,000 average viewers on a good month. And when you compare it to Fortnite's 78.3 million active users each month, it becomes pretty clear. Siege was the wrong game to bet on.
Imagine not playing Rainbow Six Siege.
And yet, Jinxie stuck with it, because even with all its flaws, Siege was different. Its unique destruction mechanics and tactical gameplay forced players to think, adapt, and strategize in ways that no other mainstream game did. But choosing such an unpopular game came at a price.
I'm 19, I'm pursuing a career in becoming a full-time Twitch streamer, full-time YouTuber.
By ignoring the industry's biggest titles, Jinxie made his uphill battle even steeper. On a platform already stacked against smaller streamers, he was cutting himself off from the easiest route to visibility and grinding on a game fewer and fewer people seem to care about.
We stream every day, most consistent Siege streamer there is, every single day.
For a year straight, Jinxie streamed Rainbow Six gameplay to an average viewership of just 5. And at times, it pushed him to the brink.
If I could just get 1 follower a day, I would be happy.
With so few people watching and stagnant growth, he seriously considered walking away from streaming altogether.
My friends, my teachers, guidance counselor just said like, oh, you're wasting your time, you're not gonna be a streamer, that's a pipe dream, it's not realistic, that too.
As exhausting as it was, he kept streaming, day after day, doing what he genuinely enjoyed, holding on to the belief that maybe one day, it would pay off.
5 viewers, he's grinding. He's on the grind.
As he got better at the game, the Siege community began to tune in. Slowly, 5 average viewers turned into 15. 15 became 50.
You guys are freaking crazy, bro.
And by June, his Twitch following had jumped from just 300 to over 3,000 followers.
Bro, we're at 993 viewers. Can we hit 1,000 viewers, bro?
But in the summer of 2021, he hit a wall, 1,500 average viewers. The reach of Rainbow Six had hit its limit. Despite being one of the most popular players in the space, and even having a personal charm in the game, no one outside of the Rainbow community cared enough to tune into the streams. For almost an entire year, Jinxie sat there, at 1,500 viewers, making enough money to not have a job, but not enough to really live a life. Until one day, he woke up to thousands of new followers. He was confused at first, then checked TikTok. Someone had screen recorded his stream from the day prior and uploaded a short clip to TikTok. It was of him opening alpha packs in Rainbow, getting the same annoying rubber ducky charm 3 times in a row.
Another rubber ducky!
And this clip exploded on TikTok, raking in over 17 million views that day.
How many do you guys have?
When he started up stream later that day, that ceiling finally moved. Thousands poured in, and Jinxie's stream peaked at over 4,000 live viewers. It had been almost 4 years since he started streaming, and Jinxie had finally moved up a rung on Twitch's endless ladder.
5,000 viewers already. That is a Jinxie channel record.
But what no one could have guessed was how quickly he'd shoot towards the top from here. That viral clip was the light bulb moment. If one random highlight could pull thousands to his stream, what would happen if he started posting them himself? So he ramped up the content machine, launching new accounts on TikTok and YouTube, cutting together his rages, his highlights, his crash outs. And he wasn't the only one. Every day, dozens of accounts were pumping out Jinxie's reactions, funneling even more viewers straight to his streams.
We have 10,000 viewers!
By January of 2023, Jinxie had cleared over 500,000 followers on Twitch, then 750,000 in March, and just weeks later came the milestone every streamer dreams of. 1 million followers on Twitch.
I did it. I'm calling my dad.
And it didn't stop there. Just days later, the sub counter rocketed past giants like XQC and Kai Cenat. Jinxie, streaming Rainbow Six Siege, was the #1 subscribed streamer on Twitch.
Yeah, he's the #1 most sub person on Twitch right now. Yeah, which is crazy, by the way.
I haven't gotten to watch him yet, but his TikTok seemed pretty funny.
Oh yeah, he's hilarious.
By September, Jinxie was averaging over 60,000 viewers, and at the 2023 Streamer Awards, he was crowned both the best gamer and breakout streamer of the year.
Because the biggest streamer in the world right now is a guy named Jinxie, and for a full year, he streamed on Twitch to an average viewership of 2.
It literally just started as an idea and a dream and a goal.
Yeah, he's streaming like 7-8 hours a day for 5 people. Man.
November 2019, 5 viewers. Every great thing that you will ever achieve is brick by brick, day by day, night by night. December 2019, 5 viewers. It started off 5 years ago. 5!
I'm pursuing a career and becoming a full-time Twitch streamer and YouTuber.
January 2020, 5 viewers. The amount of mother that'll tell you that you can't do something because they can't imagine themselves doing something. If you have a dream, you have to protect that dream every single day when you wake up, bro. You cannot lose if you just don't give up. Literally, bro, the only way to lose is to give up.
The crazy thing is why this all worked in the first place. A generation ago, streamers lived and died by the games they played. If the game popped, so did they. But if it faded, their careers went with it. Jinxie flipped that script. Siege was already on life support when he started, so his growth was never tied to the popularity of the game. The climb took longer, but it built a foundation that wouldn't crack when trends move on.
If you're the top guy on any stream, you are dealing with all of the bullshit.
However, success often comes at a cost. In just a few months, he went from a random kid on Twitch to the internet's main character, and that meant his personal life wasn't really his anymore. Relationships, drama. Suddenly, it was all being dissected by millions of strangers. What was once private became part of the content machine, whether he wanted it to or not. And even inside Siege, not everyone was happy with Jinxie. Some of the OG players hated the new wave that he brought with him. They said his streams made the game less serious, that the culture was more about entertainment than strategy. The exact energy that revived Siege also made Jinxie a target within the game's most dedicated community. But that's the trade-off of internet fame. You work so hard to get everything you ever wanted, only to realize it comes with everything you never asked for.
I've been thinking about making this video for a very long time. I am retiring. I'm no longer going to be streaming, posting YouTube videos, posting TikToks. I feel like I lost all my love for it and passion for it. And now it's like, I just don't even want to stream anymore. So thank you to all my supporters. And this is goodbye.
And for Jinxie, the only way through was the same way he started. Keep pushing.
Part-time's Jinxie is gone. Starting tomorrow, I'm streaming every night, 7 p.m. to 12 p.m. I'm back on my 5-hour. Let's get it. Let's go. Click the sub button, click the like button, and let's do this for our mama and our little brother too.
He built his whole career on consistency, on showing up no matter what, and now that mindset was the only thing holding it all together. He began branching out, pushing his content far beyond the walls of Rainbow Six Siege. Jinxie hosted online dating shows, opened fan mail live on camera, and began IRL streaming with some of the biggest names on Twitch.
You do, you're crushing.
Yeah, thank you, bro. I appreciate it.
This was actually the time period that I myself first became a fan of Jinxie. In early 2024, those clips of mukbangs with Queso and cooking with Sketch started flooding my TikTok feed.
Was that pot rusty, or trying to find out what the metal taste is there?
And I'll admit, I can't stand the cringy, over-the-top screaming reactions by streamers. Except for this.
So
That's actually pretty funny. Anyways, this was the first time that I saw Jinxie be more of himself and less of an internet character. These clips, especially the sketch, were hysterical and created trends far outside of the gaming community.
you're gonna need a frisbee to cover those pepperoni nipples.
These streams took Jinxie to an all-new high, averaging nearly 100,000 viewers per stream and peaking at 229,525 concurrent viewers. For perspective, Twitch as a whole maintains an average of 2.6 million active users at any given time, meaning Jinxie alone had 10% of the entire platform watching his stream. To Jinxie, this made it infinitely clear. His fans were watching for him, and no matter what he streamed, they'd be there. The mental barrier of streaming for performance was gone. Jinxie really just streamed whatever he wanted to. He still streamed Rainbow, but there was constantly new additions, some that even go all the way back to the beginning of this journey.
How long have you been streaming, honestly?
Yeah,
when'd you start?
I've never even said this, but like I was streaming when I was a freshman in high school. I was streaming when I was 15.
So I've streamed on 3 different accounts. I started off streaming Clash Royale.
Earlier this year, Jinxie hopped back onto the Clash Royale grind, streaming more and more of the content he used to stream to just an audience of 5. But this time, it wasn't the task of performing that was fueling the grind. The same game that lit the spark of his competitive drive was surging again in popularity, and it would be easy to chalk that up to timing or coincidence if the numbers weren't there. In June, 8 out of the 10 uploads on Jinxie's channel were Clash Royale, with the game's player count jumping over 8.4 million in that exact same month. Whether he'll admit it or not, the moment he came back, the game itself seemed to wake up too. And not just Clash Royale. Overnight, a surge of 800,000 players jumped back into Clash of Clans, like it was almost a brand new release, and we were right there with them. But behind every stream, behind all the numbers and the noise, is the life that keeps him grounded.
You live with the parents, right?
Yeah, I live with like my mom, my brother, my cousin.
Off camera, it's not about winning or losing in a video game. It's about family and the quiet moments that never make the highlight reel. A steady support system that's been there from the very beginning, reminding him who he is at the end of the day.
To me, family's all you really have in life. Like, you can have like money or fame or whatever, but at the end of the day, all that really matters is like the people you truly care about. So like, I have my whole life to go f off and live by myself. I may as well spend as much time with my mom and dad while I can.
The success may look larger than life, but at its core, it's held together by simple, real-life anchors that fame can't touch. In today's world, it's almost routine to watch creators blow up overnight, only to lose pieces of themselves along the way. The fame, the number, the pressure, it changes people. But Jinxie never let those pieces slip away. He held onto them tightly. The laughter, the humility, the roots that shaped him. And more than anything, he kept close the relationship that mattered the most. His dad.
I've nothing but like the highest thanks to my dad. When I was like 17 years old and I didn't know what I wanted to do with my life, my dad was the person who told me to just go for it, and he said, "You'd be good at it."
There's Jinxie, there he is. See him, chat, right there. There's Junko.
I created my Twitch account in 2019. I had 1 viewer for an entire year. That 1 viewer was my dad. He was in every stream, always hyping me up, and he never stopped believing in me. When you have somebody in your corner that's your dad and they believe in you from the jump, what else do you need? Call to my dad.
Yo.
Dad, I just hit 1 million.
No, I'm watching.
Oh, you're in?
Yeah. I'm so happy I can't feel my arms.
I can't even feel my arms.
I think the story that is Jinxie is far from over, but in its own way, it's come full circle. From the late nights of streaming to a few viewers, to teachers saying he would never make it, to now living the exact way he's always dreamt of. He's always been one thing: himself. And yeah, the sacrifices were real, but if you asked him today whether he'd do it all over again, I don't even think there'd be a pause. The answer would be simple. There's some things in this world that money doesn't buy. Love, happiness. But what about a cultural phenomenon?
You have one chance in life to be a part of something like this.
Yeah. FaZe Clan is the spark that ignited a generation, dominated the internet, united strangers, and forged an unstoppable movement. But where there's lightning, there's always someone trying to put it in a bottle.
It is disastrous, and it only continues to get worse.
The downfall of FaZe was one fueled by greed, a corporate takeover led by a mysterious figure quietly lurking in the shadows.
This guy's whispering in my ear like, your life's gonna change forever, you're gonna be a millionaire, this and that.
A never-ending game of divide and conquer, cat and mouse.
I will never be like you. I will never take a check. And it's so sad some of y'all are taking checks and deals.
A revolving door of billionaires, royalty, suits with more money than God forced their way in, planted their flags, and claimed the logo as their own. But there was just one problem. Money doesn't buy what a logo represents. Growing up in the early 2000s was simple. It was an era of flip phones, shopping malls, and movie rentals. But if there was one thing that stuck with me the most from my childhood, it was that those damn video games were gonna rot my brain. From finding my first diamond in Minecraft to screen cheating in Halo and even establishing a crippling gambling addiction at the age of 10, video games completely consumed my childhood. Now, I'll be the first to admit, gaming wasn't considered cool back then. Honestly, most people just thought it was made for nerds. But then someone jumped off a crane, spun around 3 times mid-air, and trick-shotting was born.
Oh my god!
As YouTube exploded in the late 2000s, and blockbuster titles like MW2 and Black Ops took over like wildfire, a new wave of gamers emerged. And at the forefront of this revolution was a group of friends who weren't just playing the game, they were breaking it. FaZe wasn't necessarily about winning matches. They were about creating moments, the kind that you couldn't ignore. Instead of focusing on objectives like capturing flags or planting bombs, FaZe members were in the lobby for one reason: trick shots. Every trick shot was a performance, and FaZe turned these performances into art. Their iconic ill cam montages sync perfectly with music, transform simple kill cams into viral phenomena. These videos weren't just highlights, they were cultural statements. And every last detail was so effortlessly perfect.
What it was to like be asked to join FaZe back then,
I cried.
No contracts, no anything. Like, it wasn't even a question. If you played Call of Duty during that time, your dream in life was to join FaZe.
What started as 3 guys playing video games and making videos quickly became one of the most exclusive status symbols in all of gaming. With members across the globe and thousands dreaming of being invited, being a part of FaZe meant you were somebody. You sat at the hypothetical cool kids table of the gaming world. Now, for most, that's what it would stay. Just a random sequence of 4 letters and a gamer tag. But for a select group, they would decide to take this opportunity and run with it.
What's up, guys? My name is FaZe Temper, and this is the FaZe and G Fuel House.
Founding members Temper, Apex, Rain, and Banks made a pivotal decision to transform their passion into a legitimate business. They split equity equally among themselves, each taking 25%, and began laying the foundation for what would become a viral empire.
So I'm here with Richard Banks, my new roommate.
They decided to take the Xbox parties into real life, moving into a house together in New York.
So I'm gonna be moving from California to New York. Yeah, this is not something I really planned on doing.
The New York house wasn't about calculated moves. It was a natural evolution that I think just about every guy ever has gone through. And by sharing a space, they created this environment where creativity thrived, and their synergy was captured in every piece of content.
I love that so much. No!
Without even realizing it, they pioneered the Content House model. Team 10, Hype House, and countless others would later replicate this formula, all creating carbon copies of this exact strategy. The Content House model works so well because each person acts as a character in the other's vlogs. It's a way to cross-pollinate audiences. If one member succeeds, everyone succeeds. And my god, did FaZe Clan blow up during this era. By 2018, FaZe Clan was at its zenith. They had become the face of gaming culture and one of the most recognizable brands on the internet. Hollywood Hills mansions, supercars, sponsorship deals, and a never-ending stream of viral content painted a picture of unstoppable success. Yet, just beneath the surface, a slow poison was spreading. Lavish spending, strained relationships, and the relentless pursuit of growth masked a deeper issue. Somewhere in the shadows, a mystery man began to emerge.
One of the first guys that came into the company, and I can't name names because I'll get sued, it's just annoying.
Like the ESPN documentary, it's like missing the most important like how we even lost the company. Nobody talks about it.
Sebastian Gertz is a businessman from Norway, who's a bit of a virtual ghost on the internet. Outside of a few inactive social media accounts and a blog post from 2009 that claims that Sebastian was a common fake flexer at Stockholm nightclubs, there was honestly very little I could find about his personal persona. But I did notice a bit of a recurring pattern in his corporate strategy. There's dozens of registered companies under his name that filed for incorporation and subsequently filed for bankruptcy a few years down the road. Now, in 2014, Sebastian started a company called Hubrik. Hubrik was a social media platform, one that was meant to rival Twitter to be the next Facebook. It was pitched as the next big app to dominate the internet, but instead, it was just the first domino to fall in the collapse of FaZe Clan. The saga of Hubrik and FaZe Clan starts back in June of 2015, when Sebastian Gertz reached out to FaZe founder Temper to discuss how he could break into the esports industry. And shortly after, both Temper and Banks are on the next flight out to Norway. Whatever was said in those early meetings must have left an impression, because over the next several months, Banks and Temper made repeated trips back, first to Norway, then to Berlin, and then to London where Hubrik had satellite offices. Each visit seemed to solidify their connection, with Sebastian playing the perfect host, parading them around Europe, showing them the sights, and immersing them in his world. Slowly but surely, he gained their trust. And once he had it, he started planting seeds. Casual conversations turned into deep discussions about the future of FaZe, about its potential, about how it could evolve beyond trick shots and Call of Duty montages. He positioned himself as a guide, someone with the business acumen to elevate FaZe to new heights. As the months went on, the meetings became more serious. Plans were being drawn, ideas exchanged, but always behind closed doors. FaZe members would tease something big, dropping cryptic messages online about what's to come.
So where are you guys going? Tell the vlog where you guys are going. Tell them about FaZe Banks' exciting trip. Oh, is it a secret?
Then in January 2016, for the first time, all 4 of FaZe's founding members flew to Norway to meet with Sebastian. From the outside, it looked like a victory lap, an initiation into something larger, and just days later, FaZe made it official. According to Sebastian, Hubrick had invested $1.3 million in FaZe Clan to help them grow, and with that money came a new direction. The first major move? A complete rebrand. FaZe 2.0, an era that promised higher production value, bigger ambitions, and an esports push unlike anything they'd done before.
I was posting some tweets about it yesterday, and we were talking about how we're changing production. Like, the production of our videos is going to immensely increase this year.
And that push started with their most significant acquisition yet, the purchase of the CSGO team, a move that redefined the esports landscape and cemented FaZe as a global powerhouse. From the perspective of the FaZe guys, Sebastian was nothing short of a wizard. In a matter of just months, he had taken their wildest ambitions and turned them into reality. Securing funding, making connections, and pulling the strings behind the scenes like it was second nature. So why wouldn't they trust him? In early 2017, FaZe Clan had fully settled into California, and with that came a major shift. FaZe wasn't just a group of gamers anymore, it was a business. Sebastian introduced a corporate structure designed to take the pressure off of the founders, letting them focus on what they did best, making videos while the executives handled the rest. Leading the charge was Lee Trink, a music industry veteran best known for launching Katy Perry's career. He wasn't a gamer, but he knew how to build brands and turn cultural moments into business empires. With Trink and his team securing deals and partnerships, FaZe was scaling faster than ever. Their newly hired chief creative officer had even locked in a production deal, greenlighting 2 TV-level series in the FaZe Cast and FaZe Full Throttle. But there was just one problem: money. The $1.3 million from Hubrick was running out fast. Sebastian needed a new investor. Michael Stang Treschow, son of Millie Marie Treschow and the 7th-generation heir to the Treschow family fortune, with a $4 billion net worth in 2020, chairman of the Norwegian conglomerate Treschow Fritzo, living in the single largest private residence in the entire country of Norway, and the car collection of all of our dreams. By all means, Michael Treschow is him. According to a few Norwegian-based blog sites that I've loosely translated into English, Gertz and Treschow actually seem to go way back. I couldn't pinpoint exactly when or where they met, but in the spring of 2017, Sebastian began pitching Treschow on the future of the internet: Hubrick. And the pitch looked something like this. In a lawsuit filed in 2018, Treschow alleged that Gertz provided him with a pitch deck, one that outlined the capabilities of this app, such as online shopping, the ability to book events and travel, and even downloading and watching movies produced by Hubrick's partners: Warner Brothers, Sony Pictures, Paramount, and even Fox. The app was to be state-of-the-art. The technology that it was built upon was worth tens of millions of dollars. Even with no active users, if they sold, they'd still sell at a profit. And Treschow bit, signing a check for $2.115 million on the spot. But Sebastian's ambitions were set much higher than just a few $1 million. Maybe it was delusion, or maybe he was truly evil, but in July 2017, he coordinated a meeting between himself, Lee Trink, Treschow, and 2 founding FaZe members, Rain and Temper. He pitched the group on a joint merger. The idea was hypothetically bulletproof. You had the most innovative app idea to rival Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. You had the billionaire to write the blank checks. And you had the face of mainstream social media to lead users to the app like moths to a flame. Everyone was in. Screw making a couple $1 million off of YouTube AdSense, the members of FaZe were ready to be the next Zuckerberg. Over the next year, Michael Treschow threw millions at Hubrick like they were fun coupons. He even believed in this vision so much that he wrote a term sheet saying if the app picked up, Sebastian would get half of his equity in FaZe. Members of FaZe worked alongside the development team to help make this app the best it could be. Sebastian brought in herds of new advisors, created a separate company that would represent the management side of FaZe Clan, and brought in Greg Selko, founder of Wanderset, and they created a joint venture called W8WS that would handle all of the merchandising for FaZe Clan. FaZe Clan was at their pinnacle. Views were at an all-time high, and merch was selling like a god church. And in summer of 2018, the merger was signed and set into stone. Banks, Temper, Apex, and Rain turned in their share of FaZe, and in return received shares of Hubrick. The offices were conjoined, bank accounts were shared, everything was operating under one roof. And that's when everything went straight to f***ing shit.
Life goes up and down. The world can be a dark, sad place sometimes. You guys are responsible for bringing light into your own bubble. You keep that up. I've been fighting and grinding hard too, and yesterday we wrapped up the last funding also. So next month we take over absolute all operations. The start has been great, but it's just the beginning.
Hubrick, the company they had entrusted their expansion to, was nothing more than smoke and mirrors. It wasn't a groundbreaking tech startup, it was a half-built platform with no traction, no partnerships, and no future. The deeper they dug, the clearer it became. Sebastian Gertz, the man they placed their faith in, had sold them a dream built on lies. Then came the ultimate betrayal. Gertz allegedly forged signatures on the key term sheet, effectively stealing Treshow's shares, and declaring himself the single largest stakeholder in FaZe Clan. The realization hit like a gut punch. FaZe wasn't just in a bad business deal, they had been outright deceived. What followed was nothing short of a corporate coup. One by one, those who had once stood by Gertz turned against him. FaZe's leadership, its investors, even the executives he had installed, all joined forces to push him out. And when they did, it wasn't a quiet departure, it was a total eradication. Reports surfaced of FaZe members storming Kubrick offices, shutting down systems, changing passwords, freezing bank accounts, seizing back control of what was theirs. The House of Cards collapsed overnight. Allegations of corporate espionage, fraud, and financial mismanagement flooded the legal system. Lawsuits erupted on all sides. FaZe sued Kubrick, Kubrick sued back, and the entire mess unraveled into a legal war zone that would take years to clean up. For a while, FaZe kept the chaos under wraps, but then another betrayal sent shockwaves through the community. Only this time, FaZe wasn't the victim. They were the villains. Tfue, one of FaZe's biggest stars, dropped a lawsuit that rocked the industry. He wasn't just calling out a bad deal, he was lifting the curtain on exploitive contracts, unfair revenue splits, and FaZe was suddenly exposed as the very thing they once stood against.
Tfue is suing FaZe Clan!
I'm gonna be real with you. This is very weird.
What is in this contract is so bizarre. It's so
To understand what happened here, you have to understand Hollywood. It's a city built on hype and illusions, where fame is currency and exploitation is the business model. We've seen it happen to child actors, YouTube stars, TikTok influencers. Young talent gets plucked from obscurity, handed a contract, and before they know it, they don't own a single thing. FaZe was supposed to be different, but Turner's lawsuit shattered that facade. The brand was hemorrhaging trust. Despite Kubrick's deception about their app's viability, FaZe settled the debacle outside of court, conceding 15% of the company's equity to Sebastian. In doing so, they weren't just relinquishing shares. They were surrendering a piece of their very identity. The 4 letters that were once worn like a badge of honor in gamer tags now felt like a walk of shame. What once symbolized dreams, brotherhood, and a new era of gaming had become a punchline. The founders spoke openly about it, how wearing the logo felt like carrying the weight of a failed promise.
I couldn't even wear this logo for years, you know what I mean? And just like, I was like ashamed of it, embarrassed about it.
So they did what many do when their world collapses. They numbed it. Drugs, alcohol, reckless spending. It wasn't a party, it was an escape.
Are you serious?
Come on, like, I know it's a waste of money, but doesn't that look fun?
And while the founders spiraled, the boardroom tightened its grip. New executives took the reins. Old ones were phased out. Lee Trink became CEO, and without the founders there to fight for it, FaZe Clan was left in the wrong hands. The new leadership had a vision. FaZe was a media empire, and esports was their rocket ship. They pitched it like 2010 Bitcoin. Get in early, and when this thing explodes, you'll be worth billions. The stats were staggering. Over 350 million followers across the roster. A direct pipeline to Gen Z.
Was a Gen Z company. Gen Z for Gen Z.
More social engagement than the Lakers, Yankees, or Cowboys. The hype was undeniable, and investors lined up with their checkbooks in hand. Lee Trink tapped into his music industry connections, bringing in heavy hitters like Jimmy Iovine, the Beats by Dre mastermind. A $40 million Series A funding round followed, with names like Ray J, Sway Lee, Nigel Houston, and Pitbull throwing in their chips.
Dale.
With millions in fresh funding, FaZe went all in. A sprawling 33,000 square foot headquarters, new esports rosters in Valorant, Rocket League, Apex Legends, and even PUBG Mobile. High-profile celebrity signings in Bronny James, Snoop Dogg, Offset, Juju Smith-Schuster, and then the biggest leak yet, FaZe was going public. Through a merger with B. Riley Principal Group, they announced they'd be the first gaming org on the NASDAQ. From the outside, FaZe had arrived. The first esports org to hit the stock market, millions in funding, celebrity partnerships, mainstream crossovers, they had won. Or so it seemed. Behind the scenes, the executives were cashing in. While the brand expanded, the C-suite was the first esports org to hit the stock market, millions in funding, celebrity partnerships, mainstream crossovers, they had won. Jason Lee isn't one person. At least, not in the way you think. Everything Jason does plays into a bigger performance, a career built on turning himself into different characters online. Sometimes he's a cringy TikToker, others he's an IRL streamer, or a musical artist. It feels like every few months, he's onto an entirely new thing. And yet, every time he changes character, the crowd gets bigger. But what if I told you none of it happened by accident? The cringe, the characters, the constant reinventions, all of it was a part of a plan. In truth, it was never about the views or fame. Jason was chasing something else.
I gotta be successful quick so that he can live a happier life, and I've never told him that.
For Jason Wynn, the American dream smelled a lot like acetone. It was the life his parents, immigrants from Vietnam, painstakingly built inside a small nail salon in Fort Worth, Texas. Jason spent plenty of afternoons there, doing homework on the counter with the buzz of nail drills in the background. He was a quiet kid, the kind that got straight A's, won spelling bees, and never really caused any trouble. From elementary school through high school, he mostly flew under the radar. But he couldn't ignore what he saw at home. His parents were older than everyone else's. They never took a day off, and every dollar they earned came from hunching over a manicure table. Somewhere along the way, he made himself a promise. Retire them. Get mom and dad out of that salon for good. The only problem was he was 15. No license, no job, no way to make real money. Then 2019 rolled around, and a new kind of gold rush showed up on his phone. It started when a company called ByteDance bought this massive but relatively dead app called Musical.ly. They gutted it, rebranded it, and TikTok was released. The app as a whole worked differently than any other social platform. Videos were meant to be short, less than a minute in length, and instead of you, the user, choosing who to follow and what kind of content to see, the algorithm really chooses for you. Within a year of the release, TikTok hit the top of the download charts like a nuke. In the blink of an eye, you had kids like Charli D'Amelio going from filming TikTok dances in her bedroom with 0 followers to just a few months later moving to LA, starring in Hulu shows, Super Bowl commercials, signing multi-million-dollar deals with Dunkin', Hollister, and Morphe Cosmetics. And Jason thought, well, why not me? But here's the thing, social media algorithms feed on flair. They boost the stuff that grabs your attention, creates urgency, stirs FOMO. And honestly, Jason didn't have that kind of personality. There wasn't much about him that really created conversations. So what does he do? Well, he became someone else. Now, this kind of seems a lot more like an Internet 101 video than a Jason Wynn documentary at this point. But pay attention because this all ties in here in a minute. You see, those cringy, over-the-top personalities online aren't anything new. Actually, it goes all the way back to 2009, to iCarly.
Hey, it's Fred. I'm gonna be on iCarly.
Fred is really one of the OGs of this. It's this annoying, polarizing, eccentric character, which love it or hate it, it stops your scroll. For whatever reason, it makes people comment, share, and talk about it. And we've seen this same strategy a million times since Fred. From Neon to iShowSpeed, it's a tried and true way to rack up some views on social media. And Jason weaponized this, creating some of the most hard-to-watch, nails-on-a-chalkboard type videos. It didn't really take too long before these TikToks were pulling in millions of views, and Jason was growing an actual audience. And with a few viral videos and a snowballing fan base came the sponsors.
Oh, I'm eating plant-based nuggets. You will?
For about a year or so, Jason kept up with this, creating cringy videos, trolling online, and for a while, it was great. But then 2 problems hit. First, his TikTok accounts kept getting banned. No warnings, no appeals. One day he'd have hundreds of thousands of followers, the next, gone. Deleted like they never existed.
TikTok, what's going on?
Second, even with the views, the money just wasn't there. TikTok was still too new. Brands weren't shelling out fat checks for sponsored posts yet. So after graduating high school, in that summer limo before college started, Jason made a decision. If he wanted real money, like retire your parents' money, he had to pivot to a new platform, Twitch. Now, growing on Twitch, that's a different beast. It's not like TikTok where one lucky post can shoot you into the algorithmic stratosphere. Twitch is slow, brutal, and unforgiving. And in my opinion, it's probably the hardest platform to build an audience on, which is exactly why Jason had to get strategic. He'd been casually streaming since
Hopefully you can hear me. Okokaile Dag. How's everything? How's everything? I'm just chilling here, man. Chilling what again? Got a little bit of Fortnite. Yeah, aqui tu to dala Fortnite, tira. Tu to dala Fortnite. I was supposed to be streaming on TikTok and this thing, but TikTok we ain't kanda wampulala something about banning me or something. I streamed one time with TikTok even banned. That aside. It is alright. Eish, my game it's gore. Game it's gore ba tsenye home. Oh, for some reason. I wanna worry on a bank deal. Yeah, I'll go live on Twitch. Twitch is much easier. Twitch is much easier, brother. Oh, yeah, okay, that's still connecting. Twitch is much easier. Go, let's go. Oh man, it's about to jump. The jump moment. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Ukokaile itaka wa ri ntshang. I don't. Hey, it's time to land. Gotta look for somewhere to land at. I like the high rises. The high rise. I'm still learning, y'all. I'm still learning. I don't know how to do this Fortnite thingy. I didn't even know like what the goal is, but why can't I hear the gunfire, bro? Okay, let me try to fix it. Bro, oh my god. Nice. Oh. Ah, no, 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 I'm leaving. Bro, them ni headshot thing one I'm attack. What's up, Elton? Yo, let's go. Astro Speed just got his like a new skin. That's his skin right there. Let's go. Okay, I'll do Twitch, then everything else will drop on. Beat down, beat down is the low. Beat down is the low. Let's get him. badlala lenchindo. Ripping the waves, guys. Okay, chill. Okay, chill. I totally attacked her for no reason. Hey. How do you speak? How do you speak with this person? Huh? Battle Royale. Yeah. Let's get it. What happened? Ooh. Oh man, what's up, man? Yeah. Yeah, I've been quiet. Yeah. I'm learning how to play this game. First time playing Fortnite. Yo. How's everybody doing? Let me see who killed me. Yeah, among who's this girl? Yeah, 46. Yeah, 46. I owe you a lot. Yo. Okay. Yo. Dates. Yeah. I was trying to run away. Oh my god. Oh man, he laid me all over the floor, man. Good teams stick together. Great teamwork together. Use oh man, kings and comms to find. Hey, one patula. Yo man, bruh. Oh man. What time is it? Yo, log me in, log me in, log me in, bye-bye. Y'all log me in, bruh. Yo. Is there like a practice thingy? Oh, that's why all these accounts are the same. Nagtago ang patola hela. Kasama. I got nagtago we were dancing together. What? It's me. Let's get it! Oh, so tired. A little bit tired, but I got a lot. Okay, this is the last round I think I'm playing. Yeah, I'm out of here. I'm out of here for real. They're throwing me in another one. Yeah, how's everybody doing, man? Yeah. I'm here, man. Chilling. Apparently, I show Speed is coming to Botswana. I don't know when. They said December, but it's the 25th. I don't know when. He's gonna spend 28 days in Africa. Okay, he's gonna travel 20 countries in 28 days. So yeah, that's it, man. I don't know, man. Maybe I should start something. Let me see what I can do. La 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 la. La 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 la. Yeah, man, I'm just chilling. Hopefully you guys are doing great. Yeah, man, that was the last one. I want to jump into like some schoolwork now. I'm a grown ass school goer. I'm still in school, man. You know, we gotta learn a bunch of stuff, man. The takeover is a real thing. We are trying to take over for real. I don't know take over what, but something needs to be taken over. But we're trying to be at the forefront of taking things over. Let me see. Apparently, Google has a bunch of free courses. This is what I'm spending my time doing, bro. Hmm. Yeah. What?